Picture a yellow room with no windows. The carpet is damp enough that you can almost smell it. The ceiling lights buzz in long white panels. One doorway leads into another room that looks exactly like the first, and the next doorway does the same thing again. You turn around. The opening you came through is gone. Nothing jumps out. Nothing screams. That is the worst part. The place does not attack you. It just keeps going, like a building forgot what buildings are for. That is the real horror of liminal space. It is not always darkness, blood, or monsters. Sometimes it is a hallway with the lights still on after everybody has left. Liminal spaces are places built for transition. You cross them, wait inside them, pass through them, or use them on the way to somewhere else. But when the people disappear and the function stays behind, the space starts to feel wrong. A metro platform with no train. A hospital corridor at 3 in the morning. A mall where the escalator is still, the fountain is dry, and the old signs keep promising a life that is not coming back. The pattern repeats because these places are designed to disappear from attention while they work. Nobody remembers a corridor when it delivers them to the train. Nobody studies a parking level when the elevator opens, and nobody treats a loading screen like a room until everyone else has left it. So this is not just a list of creepy rooms. These are 9 kinds of modern borderlands, and each one has a different way of making the same quiet threat. You were supposed to pass through, but what if the destination never arrives? If you want to support the channel and love the unknown, leave a like and subscribe to never miss a video. Now start with the one that turned cheap office carpet into internet mythology. The backrooms work because they barely look invented. There is no castle, no ancient curse, no dramatic doorway covered in symbols, just yellow wallpaper, beige carpet, low ceilings, fluorescent lights, and room after room after room. It looks like the forgotten service level of an office building, or a hotel basement that maintenance stopped checking, or a storage area in some commercial complex where every corner was designed by someone who had already given up. And that is why it gets under the skin. The backrooms take the most boring architecture in the world and make it infinite. The ordinary explanation should be enough. Cheap walls, bad lighting, repeated layouts, the numb feeling of corporate interiors. But the moment the rooms repeat too perfectly, the safe explanation starts to rot. A real building should have exits. It should have furniture that makes sense. It should have signs of human use, even if those signs are ugly, trash, doors with names on them, a fire escape map, a desk, a broken vending machine. The backrooms remove the human part and keep the structure. That is the contradiction. It feels man-made, but not made for anyone. It feels cheap, but impossible. It feels familiar, then punishes you for recognizing it. And once you understand that, the backrooms stop being only an internet image. They become a rule for every liminal space after this. The place is scary because it still has a purpose, but no longer has a reason. Now move underground. A metro station is supposed to be one of the most controlled spaces in a city. There are maps on the walls, arrows over the exits, turnstiles, platforms, security cameras, announcements, timetables. Everything about it says, stand here, move there, wait for this, leave through that. But remove the passengers and the station changes personality. Suddenly, every sound is too clean. Your shoes hit tile and come back louder than they should. The escalator hums with nobody on it. A poster repeats every few meters like the wall is trying to convince itself it still belongs to a city. The train does not arrive. Or worse, you hear it somewhere in the tunnel and never see it. Underground corridors work so well in games and nightmares because the sharpest threat is procedural. The space has rules, and you might not know them. Think of that exit 8 inches feeling. A plain corridor, white tiles, fluorescent light, a sign pointing toward the exit. The instructions sound simple. If you see something wrong, turn back. If everything looks normal, keep walking. That would be easy if wrong meant blood on the wall. But wrong might be a poster changed by one word, a light flickering in a section that was steady before. A man walking past you in a way that feels almost repeated. The terror is attention. The space turns your own memory against you. A metro station is not home, not work, not the street. It is the city's throat. People pass through it by the thousands, but nobody is meant to remain there. When it is empty, you are standing inside pure transition. And transition with no movement becomes a trap. Tunnels make that feeling older and simpler. A tunnel is a promise with walls around it. Keep walking and you will come out somewhere else. That is the deal. A road tunnel, a pedestrian underpass, a railway tunnel, a service passage beneath a city. They all offer the same bargain. Give up the sky for a while, lose the horizon, accept the echo, and the world will return at the other end. But inside the tunnel, the outside world has been removed. No clouds, no storefronts, no normal scale. The sound of your footsteps seems to run ahead of you, hit something unseen, and come back changed. Pipes crawl along the wall. Maintenance doors sit locked and unmarked. A light at the far end looks close, then somehow does not get closer. That is where the tunnel becomes less like a route and more like a temporary disappearance. The ordinary explanation is strong. Tunnels feel strange because they restrict the senses, flatten distance, distort sound, and make a person aware of being enclosed. Then you notice the locked maintenance door. No label, no window, just a handle, a warning sticker, and pipes disappearing behind it. That detail changes the mood because tunnels imply hidden infrastructure. They suggest that under the city everyone recognizes there is another city made of service corridors, storm drains, utility doors, bunkers, and routes nobody thinks about unless something goes wrong. The tunnel says the surface is not the whole world. And that thought is hard to unthink. Parking garages take the same underground feeling and make it uglier, more recent, and more personal. An underground lot is a building made for almost arrival. You have reached the place, but not really. You are beneath it. Concrete pillars hold up a world you cannot see. Painted arrows tell you where to go. Numbered spaces promise order. CCTV cameras stare from corners. Fluorescent strips buzz low over oil stains and tire marks. Nothing about a parking garage is designed to comfort you. It is designed to store cars efficiently and move people out quickly. So when the garage is empty, the emptiness feels like a design feature. Every level looks similar. Every ramp leads to another level that looks similar again. Your footsteps arrive before you do. A door slams somewhere. And because of the concrete, you cannot tell if it was above you, below you, or right behind the next pillar. This is not supernatural. It is architectural indifference. The space does not care if you feel watched, lost, exposed, or ridiculous for walking faster to your car. It was never built around a human body. It was built around vehicles, circulation, storage, and blind corners. That is the little insult of the parking garage. You are a person in a place that treats people like an afterthought. Then there are roads, which are liminal spaces stretched across distance. A highway at night can feel peaceful for the first few miles. Wet asphalt reflecting headlights. Road signs sliding out of the dark. A gas station glowing in the distance like a tiny operating room for tired drivers. Then the clock on the dashboard stops feeling like time and starts feeling like proof that you have been between places too long. The lane markers pulse under the car one after another, steady enough to become hypnotic. But after a while, the road does something strange. It reduces the world. There is no neighborhood, no destination, no face, no room. Just the windshield, the rearview mirror, the white line, and the idea that you are not where you started, but not where you are going either. That suspended state is why roads collect folklore. Phantom hitchhikers, missing time, strange lights over empty stretches, highways that seem to repeat, roads that do not appear on maps. A lot of these stories can be explained by exhaustion, bad visibility, memory under stress, or the way monotony makes the brain fill in patterns. But that explanation does not kill the feeling. It explains why the feeling is so easy to trigger. Driving at night puts a person in a sealed moving room, surrounded by darkness, traveling through places they may never truly enter. The road is public, but lonely. Safe, but exposed. The destination exists, but only as a promise the dashboard keeps making. And promises feel different at 2:17 in the morning. Hospitals push the idea of liminal space into the body. A hospital corridor at night does not need a ghost to feel haunted. It is already a place of waiting. Waiting for a doctor. Waiting for a result. waiting for the body to decide which direction it will go. The lights are clean. The floors are polished. The signs are clear. That should make the place feel safer. Instead, after visiting hours, the corridor can feel exposed in a way few places do. Because hospitals are not just between rooms. They are between states. Birth and death. Illness and recovery. Diagnosis and uncertainty. Pain and relief. Permission to leave and the fear that you may not. Every door in a hospital can carry a different version of a person's life. An operating room, a waiting room, a birth room, a morgue, a vending machine beside plastic chairs where somebody has been sitting too long, staring at a phone that has stopped helping. The grounded explanation sits right there in the hallway. Sterile walls, quiet floors, repeated door numbers, restricted signs, a wheelchair parked beside a closed room. But the emotional explanation is sitting in the plastic chair under the vending machine light. Everyone inside is closer to a threshold than they want to be. In a dead mall, the threshold is not medical. It is cultural. The first thing you notice is usually the silence. A mall was built to simulate life. Music, food courts, escalators, fountains, glass, sale signs, seasonal decorations, fake plants, warm lights, the smell of fried food and perfume fighting in the air. For a lot of people, it was a climate-controlled version of public life. Then the crowds left. Not all at once. That would at least feel dramatic. Instead, the change happened store by store, lease by lease, weekend by quieter weekend. The fountain went dry. The escalator stopped. A department store gate came down and never lifted again. The food court signs kept promising meals to nobody. That is why dead malls feel less like abandoned buildings and more like preserved memories. They are ruins of ordinary weekends. The tile patterns, skylights, plastic plants, and old storefronts hold onto a version of time that is recent enough to recognize but distant enough to feel unreachable. A dead mall does not say, "Something terrible happened here." It says, "Something normal stopped happening here," and almost nobody noticed the exact moment it ended. That is colder. Closed amusement parks and water parks twist the same knife, but with color. An amusement park is a machine that manufactures happiness. Music, lights, crowds, movement, sugar, laughter, cheap prizes, painted faces, plastic signs telling you the next thrill starts in 10 minutes. Everything is designed to keep emotion moving. After closing time, that machine becomes awkward. The roller coaster is still there, but without motion, it looks like a skeleton. The water slide becomes a dry tube. The pool is flat and dark. The ticket booth is locked. The mascot face keeps smiling at no one. The unsettling part is the contrast. Hospitals are allowed to feel tense. Tunnels are allowed to feel dangerous. Parking garages were never trying to charm you. But amusement parks and water parks are supposed to feel safe, childish, and alive. So when they are empty, the colors feel false. A faded cartoon sign under a gray sky can feel worse than a rusted gate because it is still pretending. The place is trapped between performance and decay. It remembers how to invite you in, but not how to deliver the feeling it promised. That is why closed parks look like props after the actors have gone home. And then there is the final category, the one that makes the others stranger, because it proves liminal space does not need concrete at all. Digital liminal spaces are made of code, an empty multiplayer map, a silent game lobby, a dead forum from 2006, a default 3D room with blue-gray lighting and repeating textures, a virtual world where the skybox still glows, the menu text still floats, and no avatar has moved through the space in years. These places are not physically real, but they still feel like places. That is the uncomfortable part. They were built for interaction, play, conversation, exploration, role play, arguments, jokes, waiting, wandering. But when the people leave, the space does not decay the way a building decays. It can remain perfectly preserved. No dust, no weather, no broken glass. Just the same textures, the same empty spawn point, the same artificial sky. A dead website can feel like a room where the conversation ended mid-sentence. An empty game server can feel like a city after evacuation, except nothing has fallen apart because nothing was ever physical enough to fall. So the question changes. Can a place be haunted if it never existed? The practical answer is no. Code is code. A server is either running or it is not. A map is data. A forum is a database and an interface. But the human answer is less tidy, because people leave pieces of themselves in systems that were built to hold attention. Old usernames, unanswered posts, empty chat rooms, digital architecture designed around presence, now loaded with absence. That is the final turn in liminal space. It was never only about architecture. It was about purpose. A backroom's hallway is wrong because it has structure without life. A metro station is wrong because it has direction without movement. A tunnel is wrong because it promises an exit you cannot yet verify. A parking garage is wrong because it treats you like temporary traffic. A highway is wrong because it keeps you between identities. A hospital is wrong because the body itself is waiting at a threshold. A dead mall is wrong because public memory is still open under dim lights. A closed amusement park is wrong because joy has become machinery. A digital lobby is wrong because the room is still there, but the people have become traces. So maybe liminal spaces disturb us because they show us a world where everything continues without us. The lights stay on. The signs still point somewhere. The rooms are still waiting. The exit is still promised. But the people are gone, and the destination never arrives. If you want to support the channel and love the unknown, leave a like and subscribe to never miss a video. And tell me in the comments which space feels the most wrong to you. The backrooms, the dead mall, the empty hospital corridor, or something I did not include.